Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk. And I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We got some things that we currently need to discuss that's going on in the boxing world. We're going to talk about Jaron Ennis possibly fighting October 11th in Philadelphia to make his 154-pound debut. And who exactly we'll be speculating, of course, he'll be going in the ring with on October 11th, if that's the ultimate date. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If you could go ahead and hit the like button, that'd be very much appreciated, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. Simba Boxing, what's going on? He said, yo, how you doing, brother? It's been a long time just studying my college classes, brother. Hope everything is fine with you. Likewise, brother. I hope everything's all right with you, and I'm doing well, thank God. Forever Dedicated said, yo, what happened? I don't know, bro. I don't even want to get into that. That ain't nothing I really care to talk about. Carmine said, yo, Mazuma salute, bro. You think if Matias and Tank fight, Matias will be phased if Tank hood tactics? Because we know Subrel background is yeah. First of all, Tank will never fight Subrel Matias, in my opinion. I just don't think that's a route that he will ever go down. But if somehow, some way that fight were to be made and Tank were to try them little hood tactics, I think shit will go left real quick. I don't think Subrel is the person to really get into them type of situations with. You feel what I mean? But Tank has shown he's shown that he knows who and who not to play with like that. Like, we seen how the way he played with Frank Martin. We seen how the way he played it with Lamont Roach. So, you know what I mean? That just lets you know that he know who and who not to be trying that nut shit with. You feel what I mean? Smoochie, what up? Stop Motion MMA, what up? Tego, what up? Super blessings going your way as well, brother. Shout out to the boy Tego. Lorenzo, what up? Jose RSA 210 says Boots is looking real bad out here. How? Said Boots trying to fight Josh Kelly. Are we gonna sit here and act like Josh Kelly ain't a top-rated contender at 154 pounds? Is that what we doing? We about to really sit here and act like he not one of the top, like he ain't ranked in the WBO, and that could possibly be a final title eliminator, and that he could fight for the WBO title next? No, he didn't turn down a fight with Virgil. First of all, they was looking to explore an option with Virgil Ortiz, but Virgil Ortiz is having a hand surgery. He getting a surgery done on his hand, so that fight can't even be made next. They both. If we talking about tune-ups, Virgil Ortiz said that he wanted to get his feet wet with a fight before he goes into a big fight with a Jaron Ennis. He want to test his hand out. He want to see if everything's all right. You feel what I mean? Jaron Ennis is coming up into a new division. He want to get his feet wet in the division. So neither one of them are really on course of fighting each other next. And neither one of them has expressed fighting each other next from what I understand. So, you know what I mean? I don't even know why we talking about this, bro. Yeah, like, niggas ain't turned down no fight with Virgil. Niggas be saying whatever, bro. Okay, Tego being around, man. Shout out to Tego. Coffee Plant, what up? But like I said, man, I hope everybody's doing well, man. We got some things that we currently need to discuss that's going on in the boxing world. You feel what I mean? Like I said, we're going to get into some open boxing topics, of course, man. But primarily this live is going to be set around the information we have received. Just hearing about Jaron Ennis. I seen an interview with Adam Booth where they was talking about, they were offering Josh Kelly a fight. Adam Booth, by the way, is Josh Kelly's trainer and manager, from what I understand. So they had sent the offer over to Josh Kelly for a fight October 11th in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. You know what I mean? That sounds in line with what I've heard previously, that he was going to fight around September, October. You know what I'm saying? And that, of course, they was going to be bringing it back to Philly. And it makes all the sense in the world, because since Boots has been fighting at the Wells Fargo, he's been doing amazing numbers. Eddie Hearn ain't in the business to lose money. And at the same time, he wants to build up his fighter in hopes that he could make a return on his investment. You feel what I'm saying? So of course he's gonna rinse and repeat with the Philly fights. You know what I'm saying? Because Eddie Hearn was able to find out very quickly that Boots fighting in Philadelphia, in or around Philadelphia, is profitable. So he's gonna keep him around here until he becomes, you know, that big enough of a star where he could just fight, you know, in Vegas and LA and, you know, things of that nature. You feel what I'm saying? So money is definitely in the Fargo coffee plant, and that's what they've just been going around and saying. And since then, it seems like Eddie Hearn, you know, Jaron Ennis' team, Eddie Hearn's lawyer, from what I understand, is on the hunt. You know what I mean? They're on the hunt. They're looking for, you know, possible opponents. They shot an opportunity at Josh Kelly, but I also heard there's been rumors going around that Jesus Ramos seems to be somebody that's on the list as well. Now, I know that we had our criticisms about, you know, Josh Kelly and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I even came on the record and said that that's not somebody that I'm particularly interested in seeing Jaron in this fight. You see what I mean? I remember that there was a little bit of demand for both of these guys to fight at 147 when they were both on the come up prior to both of them being world champions. But, you know, since then, Josh Kelly got knocked off by David Evanesian. You know what I mean? He ended up going to 154. He's pretty much been off of the radar, hasn't been making much noise since then. But now that my fault. Now that, you know, Josh Kelly is a top-rated contender at 154, it seems like that's a fight that actually makes sense. And is it the biggest fight to be made at 154? Absolutely not. But at the same time, it's a smart, calculated move on Jaron Ennis' part, because beating Josh Kelly, he will actually be able to attain his goal and or at least close in on his goal and becoming the two-division world champion. Because with Josh Kelly being highly rated in the WBO, Jaron Ennis, I think, being highly rated in the WBO as well, without even having a fight there yet. If these two were to fight each other, it could possibly be a final eliminator. And, you know, Jaron Ennis, if he were to knock off Josh Kelly, he will ultimately be in position to fight for that world title. So you're knocking out two birds with one stone. For one part, you're getting a warm-up fight against a guy that you might actually, you know, learn something from, or, you know, get some rounds in with. And then shortly afterwards, the guy who has the belt will have no choice but to fight you, aka Xander Zayas. But from what I've been hearing about Xander Zayas, it doesn't look like he's going to be at 154 too much longer. You know what I mean? There's been rumors going around that he's going to be fighting in Puerto Rico in December. And the reason why they're rushing his first title defense is because they don't think he can make 54 much longer. He wants to at least get a title defense to, you know, add that to his resume and then go up to middleweight shortly afterwards. You see what I'm saying? See, Jose, I could tell you don't really do your research, brother. Or at least you don't think objectively. When they offered to fight the Jaron Ennis, the Devin Haney fight, Jaron Ennis was already in the midst of moving up to 154 pounds. Now, they offered to fight to both sides. Devin Haney said he'll take it at 147 pounds. Boots was already transitioning to the junior middleweight division, aka 154. So he was like, all right, can we try to meet in the middle somehow? 152 pounds. Devin Haney said, why would I fight at 152? I haven't even fought at 147 yet. And I don't blame Devin Haney for that. So I think personally that both of these guys will be willing to fight each other, but it's just not the right time right now, considering what both of these guys' situations are. Devin Haney is looking to make his welterweight debut. Jaron Ennis is trying to make his 154-pound debut. So they're not in the same division. They going on the different chapters in their career. It's not the right time yet. And what a lot of people don't take into consideration is Champ's side did an interview with Bill Haney, right? They did an interview. Bill Haney called in. They was chopping it up. And Champ's side asked him a good question. Is a fight with Jaron Ennis something that you guys would take going into 147? And Bill Haney said out of his own mouth that that's not a fight that we'll be pursuing next. He said that. But now people coming out because they offered to fight the Boots, and Boots was already in the process of going up to 54. He offered a 152-pound catch weight. He ducked Devin Haney. Bro, this shit is absolutely ridiculous, bro. Like, I don't really understand these dudes. I remember in the day of the weigh-in between Boots and Stanionis, they was like, yo, Boots need to move up, man. Yo, you see how the way Boots look on that scale? Man, he need to move up, bro. He look dead on that scale. He look like Skeletor. Okay. So he heard the rumblings. He didn't feel like he was at his best. He wasn't performing at his best. So he moved up. And now he's getting criticized for moving up into a deeper, more competitive division. Why? Why? Y'all complain how 147 ain't got no smoke for Jaron Ennis. And, all these dudes ducking Jaron Ennis. But then he goes up to 54. Oh, man, you ducked the fight at 147 with Devin Haney. How that sound? Oh, you ducked Teofimo. How that sound? Yeah, bro, like this shit is ridiculous. We already seen Bud press Boots. About what? Press who about what? And Jose, you talking about Boots fighting Josh Kelly, ain't nothing solidified yet. So in my head, you already trying to find a way to hate on a nigga when you ain't even got the proper news in front of you, brother. Let these motherfuckers make the announcements before you start making these assumptions. You sound dumb. Now, if Josh Kelly end up being the opponent, you can have your opinion about it, brother. But as of right now, Boots don't got an opponent. So what is we even talking about? Seriously. And let's say he end up fighting Jesus Ramos. What's your criticism going to be? Jesus Ramos or nobody? Because as far as I'm concerned, Jesus Ramos one of the best at 154, in my opinion. How y'all feel about it? Do y'all feel like Jesus Ramos is amongst the top of the division? Because I think so. I think he's a pretty underrated fighter at 154, to be honest with you. I think he's a tough, credible opponent, and that's not a tune-up if Boots were to take that fight. And considering the fact that Boots is attempting to send an offer to Jesus Ramos, that lets you know that he's not necessarily looking for a tune-up. I think that Turkey Al-Sheikh called it a tune-up because it wasn't in line with what he desired. You see what I'm saying? I think Turkey Al-Sheikh thinks, because you know that he's a fucking spoiled, entitled motherfucker, but when it's the money, when you're the one who putting up the funds, I guess you could be that way. So Turkey Al-Sheikh got his favoritism, he got his bias, and this the same nigga. He telling motherfuckers that he not interested in a Benavidez. I remember he was going around saying he wasn't interested in Benavidez and Canelo, but he's interested in Moses Atama and Alexander Usyk, where nobody's calling for that fight. You see what I mean? So people like Turkey Al-Sheikh, I guess he considers fights tune-ups when he's not particularly interested in a fight. You feel what I mean? Because how could you say that Jaron Ennis and Josh Kelly is a tune-up fight when Josh Kelly's a top-rated contender? It ain't a Steve Claggett, nigga. It definitely ain't a Steve Claggett. It ain't a Cordell Booker. Because in my mind, those are tune-ups, to be real with you. These guys ain't no notable names. Josh Kelly got one loss at welterweight, and since then, he's been at 154 getting good wins, and he's essentially undefeated at 154, and is at the cusp of fighting for a world title. What are we talking about? Chef Josh says Ramos looked like the guy up next. Okay, so with that being known, if he were to take Josh Kelly, is that a tune-up fight? I mean, if he fights Jesus Ramos, is that a tune-up fight? Absolutely not. I seen Jesus Ramos rumble. Trust me. He break niggas the fuck up. He could fight. R3, I understand that Josh Kelly got stopped by David Evanesian and the Boost beat David Evanesian. I'm completely aware of that, brother. But what I'm telling you is this. And this just goes to show that boxing fans don't really respect fighters after they take losses and shit like that. What did Josh Kelly do after that? Because it's not like he's been on a losing streak. He's not coming off of a loss. He went up to a new division, been gathering up wins. Hasn't been the most credible names whatsoever, but he's worked himself in a position where he's a top-rated contender in the WBO. And it's not like Boots is just fighting this nigga and he's not gaining anything from it. If he beats Josh Kelly, that'll be a chess move to be a mandatory challenger for a world title. I don't understand what's so hard to comprehend about that. I told you that I'm not interested at all in Jaron Ennis versus Josh Kelly. But if he were to take that fight, it's a chess move, and I respect it. Because if your whole intention, if you're going into a situation where your main goal is to win a world title, it's either you fight for a world title right away or you beat somebody that puts you in position to fight for a world title. That's what I'm thinking. You see what I'm saying? So does that fight have the most appeal to it? Is it the most interesting fight? No, not at all. But at the same time, I'm not gonna complain about the fight if the end goal, if that fight puts him in position to get us the fights that we ultimately want. And that's seeing Jaron Ennis in the ring with top champions in the 154-pound division. He said he's gonna do it. So whether it's Josh Kelly or Jesus Ramos, either one of those victories will put him in a power position to fight for a world title. I don't see what's the problem. Everyone trying to fight Josh Kelly, including who? Like who? Okay, Jose, so I got a question for you. Everybody trying to fight Josh Kelly. Why aren't you criticizing everybody that's trying to fight Josh Kelly? Because it seemed like you only criticizing Jaron Ennis. So if you're saying everybody want to fight Josh Kelly, then where is your criticism for the other guys that want to fight Josh Kelly? Because as far as I'm concerned, I didn't hear nobody call out Josh Kelly. But if you're saying this, if these are your words, where is your criticism? Where is your criticism for them? It don't sound like the energy is don't sound like the energy is consistent, brother. But I do agree with the chat, man. Jaron Ennis versus Jesus Ramos, that's a good fight. That's a great fight. I would definitely love to see that, especially in Philadelphia. I'm making the trip. Oh boy, I'm making that trip. You ain't even got to worry about it. We in the Wells Fargo. I've been to the Wells Fargo a few times, but unfortunately, neither one of those opportunities were to fight Boots. Going to a Boots fight. I'm sorry. Going to a Boots fight. You feel what I mean? So I would love to go to the Wells Fargo, man. I'm real tapped in with the Philadelphia boxing community. You feel me? So it would be love to see Jaron Ennis, somebody that I watched come up all these years. I seen this man fight at the 2300 arena. I seen this man fight at the Sugar House Casino. I done seen him do small room fights. Like I watched Boots from the very beginning, bro. I watched this man, even in the amateurs, I seen him. But I'm talking about in the pros. I seen this man. Oh, you live 10 minutes away, man. Shout out to Chef Josh, man. Shout out to my Philly brother, man. You from Philadelphia, Jersey? Where you from, man? Let me know. Yeah, this dude Jose's a weirdo, bro. He ducked Bud at 147. From what I understand, Boots was Bud's mandatory in the IBF. Bud wasn't able to fulfill that mandatory, so the IBF stripped him and elevated Boots to the full status champion after receiving the interim, after winning the interim belt. So how did Boots avoid Bud? When he was in line to fight Bud wasn't able to fight Jaron Ennis because of the rematch clause with Earl Spence at the time. So Bud has no choice but to get stripped by the IBF. They give the belt to Boots, and since then, Boots has been champion. So I pose this question to you, brother. Based off of that information alone, that's all facts, and you could look up on your own, doing your own research. How did Boots avoid Terrence Crawford? You might be bringing up that Gillian Wallow interview, the $1 million worth of game interview, right? When Bud was like, and this is what people don't take into consideration. He said, why didn't you just stay in the WBO? It's actually a good question. But then Gilly followed up and was like, would you have given him the opportunity even if he stood at the WBO? He said, probably not. I got bigger fish to fry. I asked Bomac on this channel. For those of y'all who've been there since the beginning, I did an interview with Bomac. I asked Bomac, what's the possibility of Terrence Crawford fighting Jaron Ennis? He said there ain't no possibility. He brings nothing to the table. Like, we not really interested in that fight. Okay, cool. But y'all running around pushing these bullshit narratives that Terrence Crawford wants to, that Boots duck Terrence Crawford. Huh? Name a time where Terrence Crawford chased Boots to fight. He never did, because by the time Boots, and I never said that, and I don't even believe Bud ducked Boots. I think that Boots came up at a time where Bud was trying to solidify the legacy fights. And now he solidified that legacy fight with Earl Spence. Now he's looking for the big money fights. You see what I'm saying? And he's about to get a big money fight / legacy fight in September. Cool. But let's not sit here and act like Jaron Ennis ducked Terrence Crawford. Where did that narrative come from? I don't think neither one of them ducked each other. You never heard me say Terrence Crawford ducked Boots. You never heard me say Boots ducked Terrence Crawford. What are we talking about? Oh, you from Southwest. What up? Hey, man. Shout out to Southwest. Shipping kind of crazy down Southwest, man. You gotta be careful out there, man. I've been hearing shit about Southwest. I don't ever be around there, but I mean, be careful out there, brother. Chris, you used to live down Southwest too. Shout out to Chris Maldonado. I thought you was just in North. Okay. He said, "Are we gonna forget when Bud shot an offer?" And I think you meant to say Boots. That when Bud shot an offer at Boots when Spence Talks fell down first time. Okay, what was the offer? What was the offer? Since you know. Because if you saying niggas got sent offers, I want to know what the offer was. Terrence Smith says October 11th. Where did you see that announcement? That's a great question, Terrence Smith. So I seen an interview with Adam Booth. Adam Booth is the manager and trainer of Josh Kelly. And he spilled all the beans on, the offer that was sent to Josh Kelly for a Jaron Ennis fight. And according to Adam Booth, they were offering a fight with Jaron Ennis October 11th at the Wells Fargo in Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying? And it falls directly in line with what my sources had told me at one point, which was Jaron Ennis should be making his return around September, October in Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying? So this is just going off of the info that people have stated publicly. I'm not leaking out. I'm not spilling the beans. I ain't snitching on nobody. This is what Adam Booth said out of his own mouth on that Ring Magazine interview. If you didn't see it, I did my reaction to it last night on the last live I did, and October 11th, Wells Fargo, Philadelphia. That's when they offered Jaron, and that's when they offered Josh Kelly to fight Jaron Ennis. You see what I'm saying? So Vic Damani says for pennies. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to, Vic. But according to Adam Booth, they said it was for shit money, small inadequate type money. And Josh Kelly said that the money was shit. And Adam Booth followed up with that and said that they offer him less than half. They offered Josh Kelly less than half than what he makes in 10-round bouts. So I think that's when negotiations are supposed to kick in. I guess that's when you're supposed to send a counter offer, I guess. You can be like, yo, man, could we do a little better than this? Like, we make way more than that to do 10 rounders. You know what I'm saying? Could we negotiate further? But, accordingly, I mean, apparently, based off of what Adam Booth said, they were like trying to pressure him to take a fight, like take it or leave it. And I think that's a terrible strategy if you're really trying to lock in a fight. So, I think they're making a mistake on that part, in terms of how the way to, conduct business with fighters. But hey, man, that's where I got my information from. Terrence Smith. Terrence Smith said motherfuckers underestimate Eddie Hearn's intelligence or just not smart enough or have common sense to see the chess play. Let me know what it is, Terrence Smith. Maybe you know what I mean? I probably know what you're talking about, but, be specific, brother. Educate the chat. Let us know what you see, man. That's part of having this great boxing talk. You feel me? Let me see. Chef Josh said Bud wanted Boots to fight one of the other guys that were in the welterweight division at the time, not fighting Ugas Thurman, Garcia, or anyone that could test Boots. Then he'll consider it. That was back then. Yeah. Terrence Smith says if he fights Josh Kelly next, it will be better off in the UK so Boots could get that global look. Kelly is a good look because we want to get Boots in there with a good boxer. That fight would definitely make more sense in the UK, to be honest with you. And that would be the UK, they I ain't gonna lie, they got better boxing fans than us. You see what I'm saying? That's just what it is. They take they full on support their guys like shit. And we've seen historically how the way the UK rock out whenever a US fighter goes to enemy territory, like Earl Spence and Kell Brook. You see what I'm saying? When Earl Spence went over there, they said they was throwing brownies at him and they was booing him and all types of shit. But after he defeated Kell Brook, he was celebrated. You know what I mean? He was applauded. He was given a lot of love. And this is why like fighters like Floyd Mayweather in the past said that they was, considering moving to the UK because of the love that he felt. I'm gonna hear Shakur Stevenson echo the same thing. Like, yo, man, I really love the UK boxer fans, man. It make me want to move over there. You feel what I mean? And things of that nature. So Boots fighting in the UK against Josh Kelly, that would be dope. I ain't gonna lie. Even though I am biased, I am a Philadelphian like Boots. So I would love to see Boots, perform in Philadelphia. Because like I said, I seen him from the beginning stages of his career. I seen this man fight at the 2300 arena. I seen this guy fight at the Sugar House Casino, bro. Then I would see him a few weeks later driving down Virginia to go get a fight. Then he driving back up, and then he getting a fight over in Philly again. And, like, I seen this man fight in small little ballrooms that could only hold like 500 people. Now he's selling out he close to selling out the Wells Fargo that hold like 21,000. You gotta applaud that, man. Watching somebody see, and a lot of people they haters by nature because they'll celebrate you on your way up, but then once you at the top, they start criticizing you, they start hating on you and shit, bro. I'm so proud of Boots how the way he was able to go from the very bottom of the boxing circuit, man. And I heard Terrence Crawford talking about how he had to start in small ballrooms and shit like that. And he worked his way to the top. So, they could identify in that way where, they ain't start off with no big promoter that, put millions in their pocket or gave them crazy signing bonuses. No, they started from the very bottom and they worked their way up to, opening bouts, co-main events, main events, headlining, in their home city. They really went through the whole process. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers like Edgar Berlanga could have learned from that. Terrence Smith says, I say go to the UK for Josh Kelly, then back to Philly versus Xander for the title. Goddamn well Xander not fighting no fucking Jaron Ennis in Philly. Hell no. Top Rank would not let that happen. If that shit gonna happen anywhere near Philly, it's gonna be in New York. Believe that. Hell no. I can only see that shit happening because how the way Top Rank move and how the way they protecting Xander. Bro, they looking at Xander, how the way they praising him and how the way they uplifting him. Bro, they want him to be the next Puerto Rican great. They not about to fuck their money up right now. I honestly believe that before Boots ever becomes a mandatory, Xander going to be out of that division. I'm telling you. They not cashing him out this soon. They not. And knowing Turkey Al-Sheikh, how the way he is, because I'm under the impression that he's not really too fond of Boots. I think Turkey grows to dislike people who don't really fall in line with what he wants. You feel what I mean? He's almost like that spoiled child that, you know what I mean? They love their parents whenever their parents do shit for them, but the moment the parent tells them no, you know what I mean? They have little episodes and then they act like they don't fuck with you and shit. Like Turkey gives me real spoiled child vibes. You feel what I mean? So he's historically had issues with guys who chose to go against his wishes, like Tim Tszyu. I remember he had offered Tim Tszyu a fight. I wanted Tim Tszyu on his card, and Tim Tszyu decided to go a different direction. And when he ended up losing to Sebastian Fundora most recently, Turkey Al-Sheikh shitted on him, talking about he was a sparring partner and shit. But he wasn't a sparring partner when you was trying to get him to fight on one of your cards. So that's Turkey Al-Sheikh for you. You feel what I mean? Bella Faith, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. I know they made the offer to fight in Philly. But I'm saying Josh Kelly and Boots in the UK will be lit. I think that might attract more fans, to be honest with you. I know Boots could probably pack like 20,000, between 16 to 20,000, maybe even sell out at the Wells Fargo at this point. Because since he's been he's been gone from the Wells Fargo, he's become unified champion. You know what I mean? He's been getting talked about a lot more. You know what I mean? Whether it's positive or negative, he's been getting spoken about more. So he's gonna attract more ticket sales for sure. But the way the UK go out for their fighters, the excitement of knowing that Jaron Ennis is gonna fight in their fucking country, along with them just giving all the support they can to their local UK fighter, that shit will sell. That shit will sell. But I think Eddie Hearn is really focusing on making Jaron Ennis a star. You feel what I mean? like in his hometown. That's what I think. I think that he wants to just lock in on him fighting at the Wells. You know what I mean? Get him to the point where he's selling out the Wells, and then start bringing him to like the big boxing arenas, like the Vegases, the Californias, and shit of that nature. You feel what I mean? MSG, things like that. Chef Josh says Bob Arum is protecting Xander at all costs. He's the next cash cow for Top Rank, a young undefeated Puerto Rican superstar that could sell. He keeping him away from Bakram, Boots, all them guys. Shout out to the boy Chef Josh. Yeah, man. I just don't see it personally. Like if they make that fight happen, it's gonna be when Xander Zayas is a bit older. You know what I mean? More polished, more experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's when they'll really be okay with Xander fighting like a Jaron Ennis. But with him just becoming champion and not even having a title defense yet, I really don't see them doing that unless they really want to see Xander crash and burn. They still building this kid up. They still investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions of dollars into this kid right now. They not about to fuck their bag up right now. If they about to fuck their bag up, it's gonna be when they've already doubled and tripled up on their investment. You feel what I mean? Unless Turkey just steps in and gives them a stupid bag that they can't refuse, that they'll probably never even see out of Xander in the future, then they'll probably let that shit happen because they may care about Xander, but you better believe they care about their money more than Xander. So that's the only way I ever see. I see that fight getting like made right away. That's the only way they'll expedite that fight. I just don't think they'll do that. I think Xander's gonna in December in Puerto Rico. I think he's gonna fight. Somebody that's in the WBO rankings. It's probably gonna be a voluntary defense, and they'll go from there. And what I personally believe is, I'm gonna just speculate a little bit. I don't have this confirmed for sure, but something just tells me that Xander's gonna vacate and go up to 150, 160. That's what I think. Yeah, the boxing source. I already spoke on that. I already had put two and two together. I said that shit. I said that shit right after his fight with Jorge Garcia. I was saying that shit before everybody else was saying it because I heard Xander say right after his fight that he's back in December. Then I seen a clip of Bob Arum and Xander talking, and Xander was pretty much thanking Bob Arum for believing in him, and he was like, "I told you when you came to my office, that I'll make you world champion, and I told you that your first title defense will be in Puerto Rico." So I'm like, oh. I was like, oh, okay. So Xander saying December, Bob Arum saying Puerto Rico. Let's put these motherfuckers together. So we gotta pick a weekend out of December that Xander Zayas will most likely be fighting. So when you just pull up the calendar real quick, let me see. It's looking like the 6th, 13th, the 20th, or the 27th. I don't think that Xander is gonna be fighting after Christmas, maybe, who knows? But I'm thinking between the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th. That's when it looked like Xander Zayas is gonna fight in Puerto Rico or make his first title defense at least. You said December 13th? Is that locked in? Or you speculating, brother? Let me know. If it's December 13th, then there it is. Let me know. Ralph says, what platform do you think they'll fight on since the ESPN deal ended? Well, from what I've heard, it was possibly two different networks. Oh, okay, shout out to the boxing source, man. Salute. He said, nah, speculating. That's all right. We have to do that at times when we don't have the information in front of us. It just, what I mean? That's how boxing talk goes sometimes. Back to Ralph's question. What platform do you think they'll fight on since the ESPN deal ended? Well, I heard that they were considering two different platforms. I heard Peacock for one, which is crazy, but you know what I mean? Maybe Peacock wants to invest in boxing. Who knows? And then I heard it was another network that, has a small history of putting boxing on, but hasn't really been consistent with boxing. So who knows what that platform is? Probably Netflix, which I doubt. Honestly, I think Netflix will only take on like fights that they'll feel like will be, I guess the right word is like captivating to like casual and hardcore boxing fans. I don't think they just want. I don't think they really care to invest in the sport altogether. I think that they just want to simply promote big fights like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, Amanda Serrano, like Katie Taylor, like shit like that. Like I don't really see them, going all in with the sport of boxing. You feel me? Terrence Smith says everyone need to be on the zone. Hey man, I agree. I think it'll be easier for boxing fans, in all honesty, if they just pick one streaming network to just go off of. Like, you know what I mean? So you mean to tell me that I should just go ahead and get a DAZN subscription and a Peacock subscription? Like, it'll be so much easier if Top Rank just goes over to DAZN. That way we can just have one streaming network. We go to Top Rank when we want to watch Top Rank, all under one platform. But you know what I mean? Of course, the money got to be right. The business got to be right. And if Top Rank feels like Peacock giving them a better deal, then so be it. Chef Josh says Peacock makes sense. They could still air their fight Friday nights on regular NBC and do the big fights on Peacock. So, NBC owns Peacock? That's what you're telling me? I didn't even know that. That might be some, I don't know. Let me see. Oh, okay. NBC Universal owns Peacock. Okay. Learn something new every day, man. Okay. DAZN just had 3 world title fights on YouTube. Yeah, I saw that. And that boy they had on that top 10 pound for pound list lost. He lost to Sandoval, from what I understand, right? Correct me, right or wrong. I wasn't able to watch the fights, unfortunately, though. Coffee said, man, I don't care about the platform, just Rumble, bro. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if it come down to it, shit, I don't really care. As long as we get in the fights that we want to see. I said this a long time ago. They could put these big fights on Nickelodeon. I'm watching it. You feel me? Y'all niggas ain't telling me a motherfucking thing. I think fans be focused on the wrong shit where it's like, man, I don't rock with DAZN, man. I rock with this. I fuck with this instead, man. Bro, y'all worried about, man, this fight shouldn't be on there. Who cares what it's on? Trying to tell you, bro, these fans, I don't even know, bro. I don't know. He said niggas can fight on BET as long as it's on. Bro, I remember Andre Ward fought on BET one time. Y'all don't believe me. I'm gonna tell y'all what fight it was right now. I remember Andre Ward fought on BET. I don't know how he did that. I don't know if that was like just James Prince having his connects in the music industry or what. I think it was it Alexander Brand? Nah, that was HBO. Who was it? Was it Sullivan or Paul Smith? It was one of these guys. Yeah. It was Andre Ward versus Paul Smith. They gave that shit on BET, bro. Niggas ain't even know that. I bet you guys ain't know that. I remember being at my homie crib. I'm like, oh shit, Andre Ward about to fight. Yo, put that shit on. It was like, what is on? I'm like, BET. They was like, what? BET? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. That was like right after I graduated high school. No, that was before I graduated high school. Bullshit. Yeah, that was June of 2015. I remember that. I was chilling at my homie crib. He lived up in the Northeast and shit. We were just kicking it, cool, and listening to music. You know what I mean? Just talking, bidding, whatever young boys do. And I checked my phone. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, because that's when I was first doing videos on YouTube. Like 17 years old. Shit crazy. This nigga said, he said, Lorenzo said shit could be streamed exclusively on the Game Boy Color. That's funny. Game Boy Color. Man. Yo, I know this off topic, but you know, like on TikTok and shit, now they got like not Game Boys, obviously, like it's not Nintendo, but now they got these little handheld like gaming devices where they have like 3,000 games on it, bro. And you could click through whatever game you want. They got all the old school games, Pac-Man, all that shit. And you could just, man, I need one of them. I need one of them. I need to get one of them. And they cheap too. Probably like 50, $60. They got all the old school games on there. I need to get that. Used to play Mario and all that shit. You know who was a beast at playing Mario? My mom, bro. It was nobody I knew that played. What you mean it hasn't popped up for you? What you talking about, Smoochie? You talking about my live? Bro, ain't nobody, bro. My mom was so nice at Super Mario Brothers, bro. It was ridiculous. And Pac-Man. My mom was a gamer low key. She had all the Game Boys. She ain't really fuck with the PSP all like that. That was more like me. Oh, the thing with all the games? It's on the TikTok shop. I don't really know the name of it though. I would say like on a search engine, just put like gaming, like put like games or some shit like that. And they got ones that you can hook up to your TV too. So they got consoles too, not just like the handheld joints. They got actual consoles. My girl be having me on TikTok buying shit I ain't got no business buying. She's like, oh my God, look at these cup holders. I'm like, what? Oh my God, look at this new vacuum, babe. I'm like, man, leave me the hell alone. Did you see the new mop bucket TikTok has? I'm like, no. The fuck? G tatted up TV, what up? Chef Josh said game system called the Retro Pie. That's a wild name. Okay. He letting us know what it is. Smoochie, go look at that. Chef Josh says in an interview, Joshua Clottey said Canelo pulled out of a fight because his camp thought Clottey's style would present a lot of problems. Josh Clottey was a headache, bro. That motherfucker was a headache. He was strong. He was durable. He was sneaky too, from what I remember. It's been a while. Shit, I haven't watched Josh Clottey in a minute. I think the last time I seen Josh Clottey fight was when he fought Gabe Rosado. That was the last time I seen him. I don't even remember what Josh Clottey did after that, but I remember his fights with Cotto and all that shit. He was a tough motherfucker, bro. Trust me. Okay, looking at Josh Clottey John now, yeah, he only fought 2 times after Gabe. Yeah, losing to Gabe Rosado, crazy though. That's how you know you ain't got it no more. No disrespect, but I think a young Josh Clottey would have fried him. I don't know. Yeah, one judge actually had Clottey beating Cotto. So is that the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee shirt? That's one of my old shirts I got on rotation, brother. It's just a picture of him dropping Sonny Liston. That's all. Say Clottey versus Margarito. Yeah, he lost. I think he lost to Margarito though. Margarito, listen, I know he got caught with the raps and they call him Antonio Margachito and shit like that. Like I get it, but his style was Antonio was a fucking that nigga wanted to rumble. He was a dog. Do I think John Beck beats Adames? I think Adames is gonna be tough, but I think John Beck could pull it off. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. Absolutely, the greatest. Belonga posted him trying to say he got cheated. Yeah, not even close. See, the difference is Margarito was caught by Shane Mosley team, aka Brother Nazim Richardson, while he was observing his hands being wrapped. Brother Nazim noticed that his hands were already wrapped by the time he got to the locker room. And if you go by the rules, you cannot wrap your hands until an observer from the opposite team is there to watch. You see what I'm saying? Brother Nazim requested that the hands get rewrapped. You know, while the hands, I guess, were being rewrapped or being taken off, something fell out of his wraps. And Brother Nazim called it a block. They was threatening Brother Nazim and talking about they was going to do this, this, and that to him. And you know what I mean? Brother Nazim said, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to keep these in the tuck until the commission sees this. So he thought Antonio Margarito was going to get arrested and shit because of the shit he got caught with his raps, but they let him out. Shane Mosley stopped him. That was that situation. Hamza Shiraz, watch it. His hands got wrapped. People on Edgar Belanga's team watched Hamza Shiraz's raps get done. They observed it. They approved it. It was in accordance with the commission, and it was signed off by the New York State Athletic Commission. And if they're being approved, if they're getting signed off, that means that the raps were observed prior to them being put on. So what are we talking about? Chef Josh said Margarito had loaded gloves in that fight, and Cotto too. Well, there's no proof. I'm not gonna make that assumption. Do you feel what I mean? But I wouldn't doubt it neither. Okay, Chef. So you do interviews too. So do you know Josh Clottey personally or what? That's interesting. I wouldn't mind interviewing Josh Clottey. By the way, I'm working on a Tito Mercado interview too. I spoke to somebody on this team. He said he gonna run it by them. He should be getting back too. Oh, it was a video you pieced together. All right. But yeah, y'all, special announcement. Ain't nothing confirmed, of course. You know, it'd be hard to get these niggas to get interviewed over Zoom and stuff like that, but or on YouTube in general over the phone. But I'm working on getting Tito Mercado on the channel. You know what I mean? I got one of his people's numbers and shit like that. So we'll see. We'll see. Last thing I heard, he said, I'll send the message. He said, I got you. I'll relay the message for you and see what we can honor. So you want to do like Zoom or live stream or come out the Philly type interview? Definitely don't need to come out to Philly, but live stream. So we'll see. Nice. We got to ask him about the Miliano fight. Oh, yeah, that was definitely one of the ones I was going to ask. I was just going to have Tito Mercado talk his shit. That's what I was going to have him do. The one thing he going to do, there's two things Tito Mercado going to do. He going to talk his shit, and he going to call a nigga trash. That's like, that's two things we know he going to do. For sure. He gonna say you ass. He just gonna talk shit in general. And he gonna try to knock you the fuck out. That's three things. Vargas versus Mercado banger. Yeah, Lamar, I agree. I think that's a very, very dangerous fight for Emiliano. I wonder. I don't think that fight happens anytime soon, to be honest with you. I think that they're really trying to, they're being very calculated and cautious with Emiliano. Like, it looks like he got some skills. It looks like he could rumble a little bit, but they're not going to do the same thing to him that they did with his dad. And I think his father makes sure that, because, his father got cashed out early. And a lot of people use Fernando Vargas Sr. as an example as to why you shouldn't be moving fighters so quickly in their career or letting them bite off more than they could chew. I think Fernando himself learned that lesson in his own career after that Tito Trinidad fight. So I think that he's going to be very cautious, very calculated with his son, you know what I mean? Until he feels like his son is all the way ready. Yo, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if this would be so hilarious. Fernando Vargas got his first loss. It got knocked out by a nigga named Tito. And then Emiliano was to lose a fight and get knocked out by a nigga named Tito. Wouldn't that shit just be hilarious? Bro, if that would have actually unfolded and happened, bro, that would be some of the most ironic shit to ever happen in boxing. That would be hilarious. That would be a crazy deja vu, John, for sure. We both got knocked out by Tito. They some hard punching motherfuckers. Them niggas named Tito come punch like a bitch. Hell no. That's damn near like the Eubanks being beat. The Eubanks beating the Benz back to back over the years. True. Well, that could actually happen. Tito Mercado called out Emiliano Vargas. Well, Tito Mercado's calling out everybody. You let this nigga Tito Mercado say it, he think everybody ass. He think he'll knock all of them out. They all soft. They all pussies. Like, he be popping his shit crazy. Where is Tito Mercado from again? I think he's from. Is he from Nicaragua? I think. Let me see. Yeah, he's from Nicaragua. Yeah. Forgot. Yeah. I swore when I seen his pop, he had like a Mexican bandana on. He on a fucking knockout streak, though. I'll tell you that. He got 6 knockouts in a row. Interesting. Okay, so and Mexican, okay. Because when I Googled it, they only mentioned his Nicaragua background. It makes sense, Kyle. When I seen his pop, I think he had a Mexican bandana over his head. Definitely smart marketing coffee plant. You know what I mean? Bud Crawford is at plus 160 money line, plus 850 KO TKO. Woo! Okay. Say they don't really believe in Bud getting the knockout against Canelo. What's Canelo's odds, bro? If you don't mind me asking. Bud look big as shit. I seen that, coffee. Bud look big. But from what I've heard, Bud always walked around a little heavy and shit like that. You know what I mean? So that don't necessarily mean that he's gonna be fully acclimated at 68. But I think Bud was smart by I'm not gonna lie, I think Bud was smart with, skipping the May fight and just going straight into September because it gave him more time to, you know, get put the weight on. Get used to having that weight on you and then training with that and then having a good amount of time to train with that weight on you. You feel what I'm saying? Ooh, he's minus 170. Yeah, so them odds is a little bit close then. So the odds makers, they believe it's gonna be a close fight. So for those of y'all who not really familiar with money line or gambling and shit like that, you gotta put up 160. Hold on real quick, y'all. My fault, y'all. I hope Bud beats the brakes off Canelo. Damn. I mean, I hope so too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be rooting for Bud heavy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You already know they cooking up a game plan though. Bomac and they cooking for real. Mark gambling, hey, babe, your motherfucking son crying, and you over here just commenting and shit. The hell wrong with you? We'll check on your damn son. If I knock you out. What if Bud do Canelo like he did Earl? Yo, I swear to God, there's gonna be a party in this bitch, bro. Oh my God. She stay trolling. That must mean if she on the live, that means she about to go to sleep. That's the only time she listen to me. She don't listen no other time. The world gonna stop. Bro, we gonna be on this bitch wildin'. That might be the first 24-hour stream I do. Daycat said he's smoking 10 joints back to back. Bro, coffee plant, I swear to God, I might do a 24-hour live. I'm gonna be sleep on the live like Greg Hackett. Shout out to Greg, man. I gotta bring him back. Swear to God. I'm gonna be knocked the fuck out on the bed, on the sofa like some, but look. Be rocked just like him, curled the fuck up with a sombrero on my head. Let's go, champ. Hey, good. Yo, you wildin'. Hey, babe, you seen that comment? He got smacked with 2 wrenches. Wow, wow, dickhead. Time out, time out. Yo. Me and my girl got inside jokes. That shit hilarious. Time out, time out. Nigga said the smell was diabolical. No, nigga, what? Niggas just wake up and be Niggas just wake up and decide to be gay. Like, that's crazy. Let me stop talking before I get demonetized. Ramon says, all you need is a Netflix subscription to watch Canelo and Bud Crawford fight. Shit, my girl got one, so we cool. I ain't tripping. I really ain't tripping. That's gonna be easy work. And one thing about Netflix, they improved with like I guess they live events, because I remember the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Shit was kind of tweaking. You know what I mean? I didn't think they could. I think they weren't really ready for like so many people watching at the same time. So like it crashed at certain points. But the last John, I think it was Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. They didn't really have no issues with their reception and shit like that. So Chef Josh said Pacquiao gonna beat Rolly too. Hey, we can make a bet on that, Josh. I got Rolly. I had Rolly for Ryan Garcia. I'm gonna pick Rolly again for Pacquiao, because Rolly got something that's gonna give Pacquiao a lot of issues if they fight. Trust me. But I spoke to Rolly. He said that's the option. So he said his options when we spoke: Pacquiao, Barrios, Ryan Garcia rematch. That's what he told me. Lorenzo with the $2 super chat. He said, just in case we get demonetized. Facts. Shout out to my boy Lorenzo. Every time I say some wild shit to get demonetized, Lorenzo will come in with a super chat like, Mark, you wild. When the last time we spoke, this young boy non-stop crying. Babe, get your son. Let me see. When's the last time we spoke? Friday. Are we talking back? Shout out to my boy Jay Cash with the $2 super chat. He says demonetization funds. Yeah, bro. He voted for my son, man. But unfortunately, my son's not gonna win the competition. I did everything I could, man. It is what it is. My son will always be this the Tyler of my life. You feel me? This the child of the century to me. So, you know what I mean? Until my last breath, my son will always be number one. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It's a competition, man. And I be feeling like, you know, I'm not gonna say that it's rigged. I'm not gonna say that just because then I would sound like I'm being salty. But you know what I mean? It's like I feel like it's a competition with people who already got money. You know what I mean? So it puts people in a fucked up situation. Okay, Josh, if Pacquiao and Rolly get locked in, bro, stick around, brother. Yes, sir. The thing is like, how you gonna keep Rolly off you when you ain't got that in and out movement no more? Pacquiao really a sitting duck now. He ain't got no upper body movement. He ain't got no defense. His hand speed not even the same. And what's crazy is he's only gonna get older if he even gets the Rolly. So he'll be even more slowed down in the Rolly fight than he will in the Barrios fight. Telling you. And Rolly, strong as shit. He got fast hands. He explosive. He aggressive. He don't mind taking chances. So unless Pacquiao sparks Rolly, I don't see him getting away from Rolly's punches for 12 rounds. I don't see that happening. Are you trolling me? Are you trolling me? He trolling me in the comments. Hear what they said about nigga said he clapping my cheeks. What the fuck going on over there? But he always say it's in the basement too. Like dirty ass nigga. That just mean he live in the basement. Nigga, you ain't got no bedroom. The fuck, nigga? What you? This nigga a sewer monster. Ain't Rolly on a 3-fight win streak right now. I think 2. I think he fought Jaime's after he lost to Eastside Cruz. Time out. No, I just felt like saying it. Yeah, he on a 2-fight winning streak. So he beat Manuel Jaime's and then Ryan Garcia. Rolly is not a busy fighter. Well, this is the thing, Chef Josh. He's not the most busiest fighter. You're right. But what makes him dangerous is he don't mind punching with you. He don't mind punching with you. So if Pacquiao let off these combinations and Rolly shooting in between, I don't think a 46, 47-year-old Manny Pacquiao taking a clean shot from Rolly Romero. I don't. I really don't. You know, as you get older, your ability to take a punch drops significantly. Like Evander Holyfield had one of the most granite chins in boxing history. Then when he did that motherfucking, I don't know if it was an exhibition, when he did that John, who was it? Vitor Belfort that he boxed? He getting knocked all over the ring. Every time he got hit, he went down. You know what I mean? And there's not many big punchers that throw a lot of punches. You feel what I mean? So that's another thing. If you catch an actual like knockout artist that has volume, that's a dangerous motherfucker because usually people are volume punchers because they not one punch knockout artists. Rolly could spark you with one punch. I've seen it happen. Everybody that does spar Rolly, fought Rolly. I know somebody like a personal friend of mine that fought Rolly. He said every punch felt like a bomb, like cinder blocks. Okay. I tell you what, based off of what I've seen, Rolly and Pacquiao, Rolly's faster than Pacquiao right now. You see them combinations he was throwing at Barrios, bro? He looked old. He looked old. Black Caesar said, "What's good, Mazuma? What fighter at 54 poses the most issues to Boots, in your opinion?" That's a great question. I mean, considering Terrence Crawford still a champion there, I guess you would have to say Terrence Crawford. Outside of that, Bakram seems to be like a devastating puncher, and so Boots would have to be very cautious, I guess, with that type of style. I don't see Fundora being an issue, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think he'll get picked off by Boots. I think Boots will hurt him. I think Boots will stop Fundora. Just my opinion, you know what I mean? But Fundora is dangerous. He's game. I think that's about it. I mean, to be real, Jesus Ramos could pose some problems. But I think Boots is a superior boxer, athletically, speed-wise, you know, all that. You say he's faster and stronger, but is he smarter? See, this is the thing, Chef Josh. I understand what you're saying. Pacquiao, if you're referring to Pacquiao, he is the more experienced fighter. And the more experienced fighters tend to be smarter than the guys who aren't as experienced. But when your body is not aligned with your mental, aka your intelligence, what good is your intelligence? If your brain knows one thing, but your body isn't receptive to the information that your brain is giving you, which is what usually happens when you're on the decline or you're a shot fighter. Because I remember Shane Mosley had an interview. I remember Shane Mosley did an interview and he was talking about how he knew he was done because his brain was telling him to do something, but his body wasn't responding. You see what I mean? So you could have all the intelligence in the world, but if your body isn't following through with the information that your mind is giving it, how good is your intelligence really? And I'm watching this Mario Barrios fight, and I think what made Pacquiao look good was Barrios looking absolutely trash. That's just me. Like, I think that if Pacquiao would have been in there with a guy who was an absolute savage on that night, niggas wouldn't be admiring Pacquiao all that much. It'd be niggas telling Pacquiao to sit the fuck down. That's just me. What about Mel Charlo? Does he pose a threat? I mean, of course, because he always comes in phenomenal condition. He's very strong physically. Big puncher. Has a lot of determination, a lot of grit. Rugged. You know what I'm saying? Like Jermell give me a little bit of, and I'm not gonna say he's like the fighter, but the mentality, especially when he was at 54, he gave me like Marvin Hagler vibes, like that war mentality. You feel what I'm saying? Like Charlo didn't give a fuck for a fight to break out in that motherfucker. He didn't care like he really believed in himself. He stepped the motherfucker, especially when he went on that path to become an undisputed. He was just on an absolute tear. You know what I mean? And even when fights was kind of didn't go in his favor, like the Tony Harrison fight, you know what I mean, and the Brian Castano fight, he ran them bitches back and avenged both of them by knockout. So Jermell Charlo is going to be a problem for anybody at 54, but I think Boots could find a way to beat him. Boots can't get too careless with Jermell, though. You feel me? I think Boots could beat him, though. That is a scary style, though. I ain't gonna lie, especially if Jermell's, back in his bag. If it was Norman or Rolly in there, Pacquiao would have got hurt bad. I think so too. That's just me though. And like, if we talking about Rolly versus the Pacquiao that fought Broner or Thurman, okay, I might have to go with Pacquiao because at least he still had his legs underneath him. He had the in and out movement, the fast combination punching, hard to pick up his timing. But he's not that no more. And I think because Barrios looked so ass, people think Pacquiao was able to turn back the clock. No, not at all. Does Rolly beat Barrios? I think he beats Barrios too. Bro, are we like impressed with Barrios? What does Barrios do that's gonna fuck Rolly game plan up? I think once Rolly feel like Barrios ain't bringing nothing, he gonna step the Barrios. And one thing about Barrios, he get hit. I'm telling you, like Rolly's not the best fighter at all. Against the certain styles, he'll get washed. And he's been washed twice. But when we talking about the current state of the welterweight division, it's not many people out there really like outside of, Boots just left. You know what I mean? It's not that much. It ain't that much smoke there anymore. But what I was telling y'all, Anonymous was telling me in the group chat, pretty much proving my point. I said, once Boots move up, we're going to start seeing all these motherfuckers from 140 trying to come up. We seeing And Devin Haney was bound to eventually, but we see Devin Haney going up there. We see Richardson Hitchens talking about going up there. We see Leon Paro just made his announcement. He moving up to welterweight, and he ain't got no business at welterweight. Like, all these niggas are starting to move up now. So Rolly, Ryan, you know what I mean? They coming up there and shit like that. So the welterweight division is starting to stack back up. But currently, what we have in the division, especially amongst the champions, outside of Brian Norman, Rolly could beat Barrios, bro. Rolly could beat Barrios. He said, "You changed my mind. I ain't betting you." Oh man. I fucked my money up. I spoke too much, huh? I ain't too big on betting anyway, brother. To be honest with you, I'm terrible at gambling. I have yet to win a parlay. I have yet to win a bet. But every time I make a prediction and I don't bet, the prediction always comes out as true. Ain't that some shit? Maybe T.O. too. Yeah, T.O. like he acting like he want to come up, but then he don't. I don't know. I don't know. I think for the right opportunity, he probably go up there, but eventually he will. But he's undersized at welterweight too. Paro is going to be a small ass welterweight. That's a fact. But I see why he's doing it. When I looked over the situation, I'm like, okay. Leon Paro sees that the IBF is going to be vacated, or it has been vacated already by Jaron Ennis. It's going to be a vacant title. Leon Paro is a top contender in the IBF at 140. He already lost to the man who had that belt. If he goes up to 47, he might transition to be a top contender at 47 for the IBF. They might put him in position to face the winner of Crocker and what's the other dude named Donovan or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't be knowing these UK dudes all like that, but he might be in line to face the winner of those two. And there's a possibility he might win. He might win that title up there. So I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. It's a calculated move. It might work. It might not work. But I guess he's willing to take them chances to win a world title again. You feel what I mean? Definitely hit that like button, y'all. I appreciate y'all. TL pump faking. I mean, that's what he's done historically. Historically. He act like nobody want to fight him. Everybody avoid him. But when the motherfuckers come to the table, you know what I mean? He can't find his pen. That nigga taking that contract and going like this. Trying to burn that motherfucker up. Don't want to sign shit. Then he want to make it seem like it's a smart, calculated move on his part while he didn't take the fight. No, nigga, you're a fucking idiot. He remind me of George Kambosos when he missed weight. He was like, it's all, what the fuck he said? It's like, it's the art of war. It's the art of war. Like, made it seem like it was like a whole tactic. Whole time, nigga, you just couldn't make weight. The fuck? Niggas be trying to make shit deeper than what it is. No, nigga, you did some dumb shit, and now you don't want to come across as dumb, so you trying to psych the boxer fans out by making it seem like you just made a power move. Whole time, you just a clown, or you just fucked up. It is what it is. Or you just pussy. It could be that too. T.O. prices himself out too often for anyone to take him serious. Yeah, bro. But he wants you to believe. You know what be burning me out about T.O., bro? That he really be pushing these bullshit ass narratives. 2-time undisputed champ. Most successful fighter under 30. Oh, it's like, bro, stop it, bro. You got 2 good wins under your resume. You popping all this crazy shit. I know niggas younger than you that got just as many good wins as you. Like, okay, you beat Vasyl Lomachenko, bro. Okay, that was during the pandemic, nigga. That's the day after you fought Lomachenko is when I first caught COVID. That was 5 years ago. Like, damn, you still talking about that win, bro? What? Then you beat a washed Josh Taylor who just retired not too long ago, who been on the decline since his first fight with fucking the weird looking nigga. What the fuck is this nigga name, bro? God damn. I'm slipping. I always forget that little ugly nigga name. Jack Catterall. Jesus Christ. I'm slipping crazy. That's how you know I'm tired. When the eyes start getting low and I can't remember names. Yeah, Josh Taylor. He ain't look good since he fucking fought Jack Catterall. That nigga last best moment was against motherfucking Jose Ramirez. He became undisputed in 4 fights. He was done after that. That nigga had one of the craziest declines ever. You caught him during his decline, and you want niggas to praise you because you beat Josh Taylor. Like, nigga, you ain't beat the best Josh Taylor. You ain't beat the Josh Taylor that beat Jose Ramirez. You ain't beat the Josh Taylor that beat Regis. You ain't beat the Josh Taylor that beat Ryan Martin. Keep it real. You ain't beat him. But you want nigga, you trying to push this narrative that you such a decorated guy, bro. You didn't do much. How many title defenses you had at 35 after you became unified, bro? How about that? Because that's part of being great too. That's part of being a successful fighter. You literally have 0 title defenses as a unified champ. As soon as you got them bitches, you let them go. How many title defenses does that Teofimo Lopez has after becoming unified at 35? None. If you boxing stories, if you lose though, it ain't a title defense. A title defense is literally like what it means, like defending your title. You attempted to defend your title and you lost. You have no title defenses. Like if a nigga like what they said, Larry Holmes had 20 title defenses. That means he retained his title 20 times. Like T.O., he got the IBF off of Richard Comey. Okay, so technically one title defense because he beat Comey for the IBF. Then he defeated Vasil Lomachenko to retain his IBF, and then he won the additional belts after that. All right, cool. So one title defense at 35, bro. Then you lose to a nigga that done got washed by everybody and their mom after that. You got your ass whooped. Everybody was shocked that you got your ass whooped. Niggas knew George Kambosos was easy work. Had Devin Haney jumping at the bits to get to this nigga. He signed a shitty deal at Top Rank, went over to Australia twice because he knew Kambosos couldn't beat him. He knew that was like taking candy from a baby, bro. But somehow you trying to convince people that you the most successful fighter under 30? Nigga, Bam, what Bam doing right now more impressive than what you done at 35, nigga. Keep it real. You ain't taking no world title fight on 10 days notice, and you ain't doing no shit like that, nigga. You scary, nigga. You ain't even want to fight Subriel Matias. You ain't want to fight Subriel Matias talking about, oh, why they making this fight on the West Coast? Bro, you don't control where the fight's gonna be taking place, nigga. You ain't no motherfucking draw. This ain't your promotional company. You do what they tell you because they the ones who putting the bread up for you to rumble. Niggas don't want to put no bread up and then act like they the boss. And you ain't even known for being no ticket seller anyway. Stop it. I understand they say, boxers are the bosses and shit like that, but come on, dog. Like, you gotta work your way up to that point, sir. Like, you don't even sell out in New York. Them niggas ain't making no real money off you. You ain't no star. You ain't got no country backing you, none of that. And the niggas that you had backing you talk shit about. The Puerto Ricans, the black people. That was your fan base. And you talk crazy about both of them. So now you ain't got shit to lean on. And now they trying to cash you out because they know that there ain't no money to be generated off of you. And you notice that and you scared now. Fuck out of here. Bro, I got an old ass interview. If y'all go put YSM Sports Media, Mark Rosa, let's say you put YSM. Hold on, let me pull this shit up. Let me show y'all some old interviews I did. Shout out to my boy Jamil. Like, I remember. I got old ass interviews, bro. Look, I said I got Teofimo Lopez stopping Cambosos in 4 rounds. Oh boy, was I wrong? Jesus Christ. I remain consistent with my points though, boy. Man, I can't find this shit. Hold up. I think it's this John right here. Look how skinny I was in my face. That's when I was struggling with my health issues, unfortunately, but let me see. Let me know if it's tweaking. Oh no, this shit tweaking. Early night, I think. Oh, this shit acting up. You said Mark was weight drained? Wow. When was that? That was 3 years ago? Close to 4 years ago? When was that? That was 3 years ago? Close to 4 years ago? When was that? That was 3 years ago? Close to 4 years
ago? So, Teofimo Lopez, George Cambosos, who wins that fight?
It's a good fight. You know what I mean? Teofimo definitely. I think he's going to do enough to get the W. I think it's actually going to be an early night. I think within the first 4. I think that shit tweaking, bro. Never mind. I remember seeing you get interviewed somewhere on the north side. What you mean, like you saw me getting interviewed in person, or are you talking about you saw a video of me getting interviewed on YouTube? I'm about to hit 3,100 for real. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Hit that joint pretty quick too. Like and subscribe. Yeah, bro. Yeah. I was saying, bro, if you look at them old interviews I got, bro, I predicted a lot of shit. Ryan Garcia answered some questions, but he hasn't answered all of them, says Marcus Rosa. Let me see. Mark Rosa reacts to Teofimo Lopez asking if he still got it. Mental ain't matching the physical. Right here, I predicted that Stephen Fulton would beat Stephen. That I predicted that, and this was 3 years ago. This was the first Stephen Fulton and Brandon Figueroa fight. I predicted that he'll be able to beat him on the inside and the outside. What happened? Come on, man. Niggas know they boxing now. Yeah, bro, because I remember Jamil used to come around all the time, bro. Like, he used to come around all the time and do interviews. And a lot of my interviews did like solid numbers. Some of them did past 1K, 14K, and shit like that. But I was doing them interviews when Jamil was still on the come up. I got videos on there doing pad work and all. I think I got my own playlist with my interviews on them. Yeah, I do. Nigga. I wish this video was on my main channel, but I got I had an old YouTube channel called Pivot Boxing Network. It only got like 339 subscribers, but the one video I did 32,000 views, bro. Sheesh. Sam Noakes might stop Abdullah Mason. Shit. You should know better than that, Josh. Shout out to my boy Aaron. He said, "What's up, y'all? Can't even stay late for work, but I at least will hit the like and catch up to y'all tomorrow. Big ups to Mazuma, the real boxing channel. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you." It's a so it's one of my boy Josh Medina, man. His father was a former professional fighter. He was his father was actually like a chief sparring partner for Oscar De La Hoya, a prime Oscar De La Hoya. So he grew up in boxing just like myself because my dad was a fighter and shit like that. We both got a little bit of boxing experience. So you know, we sit down and talk boxing. And every time that we talk boxing, bro, the conversations be A1. That's why I'm trying to get this nigga. He gonna be one of the main people that I bring back. Like when I start like my official podcast shit, like I'm talking about like setup, all that. I'm talking about like cameras on us, sitting at the table. You feel what I mean? Josh Medina gonna be one of my co-hosts. I'm gonna make that shit happen. Watch. I'm telling you, his boxing knowledge is up to par, bro. I'm telling you. So just like I told Claymore Rain and I said, bro, you know how to talk boxing, bro. You do well. Look what he doing. He about to hit 3K. So just fire me. Look, and get the hell off the live. I hear you laughing. Dirty ass, go to sleep. God damn. It's great boxing content coming from someone who actually is involved in the sport. Yeah, bro. If y'all in the Philadelphia area, man, come check out some amateur boxing this Friday at Let's Be Elite Boxing up in the Northeast, man. Willis Road. I got a fighter by the name of Joshua Ramos that's going to be fighting. My shit tweaked a little bit. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I was saying, Joshua Ramos is going to be having a second amateur fight at Let's Be Elite Boxing and Fitness over in Willis Road. I could probably drop the information tomorrow with the exact address and all the other details. But if you put Let's Be Elite Boxing on Google and you in the Philadelphia area, it will come up. You feel what I'm saying? So we about to kick some ass. I'm looking forward to seeing that this kid got a shit ton of potential. I could really see this kid really doing some damage and being a nationally ranked fighter in boxing. You see what I'm saying? I think this is going to be he got a lot of potential. This kid is phenomenal. So he's on the come up right now. He did come up short in his first fight. It was a split decision, but you know what I mean? When you get your first fight, that's when you gotta get your experience and know what you're hitting for and make the adjustments to continue to grow and develop as a fighter. Looking forward to seeing that, bro. We're gonna be busy all August too. August 9th, we fighting in the motherfucking beach. August 9th, Long Branch, New Jersey. I gotta go all the way up Central Jersey for that situation. I got my boy Deshaun Jones fighting. That's gonna be like his 16th fight. Then August 16th, we're gonna be fighting in Freehold, New Jersey, which is also Central Jersey. You know what I mean? We're gonna have 3 fighters on that card. We got Anthony Kirkula Jr., who's gonna be making his amateur debut. We got Deshaun Jones probably being at like his 16th or 17th fight. Then we got Joshua Ramos doing his 3rd amateur fight. So we definitely got the ball rolling. The return of the maestro is near. The turn of the maestro is near. Derek Moore, he about to be, hopefully he come back into the mix by the end of this year, because I think he's going to be my first professional fighter that I'll be turning pro from the amateurs. You see what I'm saying? He got a shit ton of potential as well. They call him the maestro for a reason. He be schooling niggas, teaching niggas. You feel what I mean? I took him over to Bosey's with Boots and them at one point in time, and he did absolutely phenomenal in them sparring sessions against undefeated top professional fighters. You know what I'm saying? And they was asking for him to come back, but unfortunately he fell into some real life shit. You feel what I mean? So I got some good shit going on, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm one of the best coaches in Philadelphia. Point blank, period. I might not be getting the recognition that these guys getting, but trust and believe I got one of the best amateur stables in the city. So, and everybody that done came to my gym could vouch for me. You feel me? So that's pretty much my spiel for the day, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love as always. Always, man. Y'all go ahead, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. You feel what I mean? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, signing off. I hope you have a blessed, beautiful one. I'll be back 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world. I hope y'all have a blessed, beautiful one. I'll holler at y'all, man. Peace.